Hi guys, Robot One here. Standing up for a change. I thought it would be better for me to do a stand-up video instead of just sitting down and just, slouched on my back. And I thought I'd try doing a stand-up video. Now you can actually see some more of the background. Like this bit's empty. It's my brother's side of the room. It's not his. I think I need to turn the camera a bit though. That's better. And yeah, so doing a stand-up video, and today we're going to be doing a basically 10 decks you can play in the May 25th format. I do have 10 ideas to 10 competitive decks that you can actually play. No specific order of the decks, because I thought, why do a specific order of the decks when nobody knows where these decks are going to rank fully? So I just thought, seeing as the ban list came out on Monday, that video is already up. Please go look at it. It's my first reaction video, and oh my god, the list was amazing. Just so good. And before we get into the actual 10, I want to say it now. Draco are actually dead. Even though you can still play Floodgates, they're still not going to be good enough without Masterpiece. FTKs are majority dead. Like, they're not really plausible anymore thanks to the burns being gone, such as the Gemlight Master Diamond. That's not going to be easy anymore. Pendulum FTK, thanks to Starving Venom getting banned, and obviously with the Phoenix Amaryllis getting banned, you're not going to be able to plant FTK. But yeah, so I just wanted to get that out of the way now. Masterpiece and FTKs are pretty much dead, so they're not really going to have a place on this list. But yeah, let's start off with the first one that I want to talk about, which is Mech Knights. Mech Knight Invoked, to be exact. Mech Knight Invoked are going to definitely be one of the definitely going to be one of the best competitive decks this format that you guys can play, seeing as Mech Knights in general have this little thing where they can just continuously search, they can continuously build advantage. They rely a lot on your opponent, but thanks to the Mech Knight stuff, the Invoked stuff in the deck, Mech Knight Invoked are just able to gain that additional bit of advantage that they weren't able to without the Invoked engine, because they're able to basically set up an Mechaba. Mechaba is then able to put up 2 cards in the same column, able to summon Purple Dawn. I believe her name is Purple Dawn. Purple Dawn is allowed to banish himself, search another Mech Knight, probably the Move Man. Move Man moves himself, summon another Mech Knight. So you're just able to gain continuous advantage thanks to the Invoked engine. Plus, the Invoked engine gives the deck a little more push, such as negation factor, and I feel like this is going to be one of the best, basically one of the really good meta decks this format, just for the fact that it's able to gain so much advantage. It's going to be a very, very decent deck in this format, just because it's able to utilize Scapegoat very well as well, which a lot of decks can now better, because seeing as we lost Starving Venom Fusion Dragon, a lot more decks can utilize Scapegoat a lot better, because not a lot of cards can pierce anymore, which is something that I really did notice in the format. Next. But yeah, Mech Knights is definitely going to be a good deck. It's able to gain a lot of advantage. It's able to use back row very well. It's able to gain loads of negates. It's able to do a lot, which is something I actually like about the Mech Knight Invoke deck. I planned to build it at one point, but money, just money. But yeah, next, Spirals, specifically Spiral Nightmares. Spiral Nightmares is definitely an option for one of the really good decks this format, because it's just able to gain so much advantage of the Spiral stuff itself. And even though they've lost Ancient Fairy Dragon, I still feel like it's really easy for them to get to their combo pieces very fast, seeing as even though they don't have Destrudo, the Destrudo, Ancient Fairy, Banish, Ravine, Search, Resort, they're still able to get off. They're still able to go off very easily, and I feel like that's going to be one of the top factors when looking at this deck, seeing as that's an actual option. But yeah, thanks to that, it's going to be really powerful in that regard, just for the fact that it's still able to do all of its Spiral shenanigans very easily. It's still able to make double Helix. It's still able to make all the all the nightmares really easy. it's really able to just go through all the combos and the things and everything it loves to do, and just stack your deck really easy still, as quick as it always used to be able to, which is something that I've really didn't notice as soon as Spirals, as soon as we got the Nightmares, which is very annoying as well, because I was hoping we would be without a format without Spirals for about how long Zoo's been gone now. But no, we're back into it. Spirals are back in the format, and it's not a bad thing, seeing as they're not going to be as powerful as they used to be, but just the fact that they're able to do all the Nightmare shenanigans, where they're able to keep going off and off and off and off, it's gonna be a decent deck. Spiral Nightmare. They're definitely gonna have a lot of power in them, and they're definitely gonna have a lot of utility inside of them, and they're definitely gonna be able to do a lot more than I personally would want to see them be able to do. But yeah, Spirals is definitely gonna be one of the better decks in the format that you guys should consider playing. Another one, Goki Nightmares. Yes, another Nightmare deck, which actually didn't get touched by the ban list at all, seeing as Goki is mainly a deck that focuses around right now making all the Nightmares with a Soul Day, and just going off through that combo. And it's not a surprise to me that Goki Nightmares is a good deck. Like, we always had, as soon as Goki came out, I always had a thought that this deck would at some point be very powerful. And seeing as the Nightmares is when the deck chooses to be powerful, it really does make sense to me that now that the Nightmares are out, now that we've got Goki as well, that this deck is actually going to be one of the more powerful decks in the format. Being able to spam all the Nightmares out very easily, use a Soul Day to send the equip spells to the graveyard to gain those effects, and just be able to continuously go through the loops and stuff like that, definitely does mean Goki Nightmares is going to be a very good deck. And seeing as they're able to just extra link your opponent really easily, summon Ibli, stop them from being able to special summon anything but link monsters, forcing them to have to go in their battle phase to get rid of the Ibli and crash into usually the Mermaid, I believe, who has something like 1,000 attack or something like that. Really means they have to hurt themselves to actually go further. Plus, if they're playing an extra deck based deck, they're not going to be able to play the game because they can't special summon into the extra monster zone, meaning they can't go any further, which is something really, really big when you think about it, and it's probably one of the reasons why Nightmare Goki are one of the powerful decks of this format, just because it's able to gain a lot of advantage through just sending a Goki to the graveyard to then search another Goki card, be that a rematch, be that another Suprex, another Headbat, and just use a Soul Day as well to send 2 equip spells to the graveyard, normally the Phoenix Sword one, then just keep on having that discard fodder to keep drawing with the Phoenix, because you could just discard, because you're just banishing 2 warriors, add the Phoenix back, discard draw with the Nightmares, which is, when you think about it, really powerful, which is something I've noticed very heavily while looking into Goki Nightmare. It's kind of a deck I want to try as well. It's just I don't have a Goki core because I don't have a Goki core. I wasn't able to pick everything up, sadly, when they first came out. But yeah, Goki Nightmare definitely going to be another decent deck this format that you should definitely consider playing. Next is a deck that got hit on the list quite heavily, but still is very, very powerful. And if you guys think no, this deck isn't going to do anything anymore, you're sadly mistaken. It's Magicians. Pendulum Magicians are still going to be a very good deck. Now, if you think about it like this, all Magicians lost was an Astrograph and a Supreme Starving Venom, which I admit, losing the Supreme Starving Venom was hard. Should have just banned Nightingale, but it really did hurt the deck. Even still, they still have everything outside of Astrograph and that. They still have the Electromite. They still have stuff like the Mythical Beast Engine, Curtain Raisers, Dark Worms, all the Pendulum Magician cards. Like, you can play Star Pendulum Graph now as well, just to gain the additional resources. You can play 3 Doors Lines to search out your trap, or Pendulum Core, Star Pendulum Graph. You can use Back Row Remover now to deal with stuff like Altergeists and anything like that. Like, even though Magicians lost Astrograph and they've lost Starving Venom, the deck is still a very powerful deck. Come here. Magicians is great, okay? They're still good. they're still good. Bit of cringe there. But even though they've lost these cards, they still have so much pack combo ability, and they still have a lot of plays in the deck that it doesn't really matter. Like, you can still play your Chronograph Engine, you can still make Naruto's turn 1, you can still make Babuskas, you can still make Tornado Dragons. Like, you can essentially still do everything the same. You just can't make a Vortex with an Astrograph anymore. And even if you did want to make a Vortex with an Astrograph, and you can still do it technically without the Astrograph. You can still make a Vortex and a Vortex in the deck. You can still technically do that because you've still got Zero Gate and you've got Dragon Pit or Zhangxi Magician to summon of Harmonizing. Like, you can still do that. Like, I wouldn't recommend it. It's not as powerful as the Astrograph one, but you can still technically do it if you want to. I'm not going to suggest to do it because it's a terrible idea, but you can still make a board of decent amount of negates. Like, hell, you could even shove in the FA as well to have two spell and trap negates on board. And even with the Mythical Beast engine, you can make a Jackal, and Jackal can have a monster negate. So essentially you can have a board with Naruto and Jackal to negate monsters and to negate spells or traps. So you still have a lot of combos in the deck, you still have a lot of negate ability in the deck, and even though we've kind of lost some of these cards in our deck, in Magicians, the deck is still very powerful. It still has the Curtain Raise, it still has Mythical Beast engine, it still has all the Magician cards to utilize. It's still great. Like, even though we've lost some cards, it's still a really good deck, and I feel like this deck is still going to perform very well in the May 21st format. But yeah, Magicians, they're still very good. They're still very good. Next, Altergeists. Yep. Altergeists are on this list. If you didn't think Altergeists were going to be on this list, you are wrong, sir. You are very wrong. You are fired. I don't know why I did that. But yeah, Altergeist is a definite good deck in this format. Sure is you kind of want to go first with the deck more than second, and if you've got impertinences that are not worth the flipping 60 quid they are right now, then you've got basically a complete Altergeist deck. Like, the Altergeists are definitely one of the good decks of this format. They really are. Just being able to make a Kirin with back row is very powerful. Like, the deck I've currently got that you've most likely seen the whole match of by now, essentially focuses around back row and Kirin, and that's what the deck is back row and Kirin. And that's something you've really got to look at when you're playing a deck like Altergeists. How can you build a deck to counter the meta? And that Altergeist is a deck in general that has high counterability against the meta. Seeing as you're able to make the Kirin, which is still very powerful, Altergeist Siliquise with Altergeist Multi-Faker, which just gets rid of any card on your opponent's board for free. You're able to have like 4 back rows set up normally, being Floodgates, or could it be Rivalry, be it Rivalry, be it Anti-Spell, be it Imperial Order, be it TT, be it any free compulses now. You can play free compulse, which is, I might play 2. It's aight. And looking at this, it really does make me think that Altergeists are a great deck, and if you don't think Altergeists are a great deck, you're just wrong. I'm sorry. Like, even with that impertinence, the deck is still amazing. Like, there's other options, and it's just like, Altergeists are still great. Okay? Altergeists are still great. That's all I have to say about it. It's a very trap-heavy deck that you should consider playing. Another trap-heavy deck that you should consider playing, Paleozoics. Well, not pure Paleozoics. Frog Paleozoics. Paleo Frogs. Paleo Frogs is basically the same as Altergeists, except it ends with negates instead of having Kirin. It's essentially the same as Altergeist, where you just set 5 or have a frog, and then just go into the Toads, go into the back row, have Floodgates, same as the Altergeist. Definitely gonna be able to perform quite good in the format. Not as well as Altergeists, in my opinion, but just being able to do all the do all the frog shenanigans, have like 3 back row set, turn 1, and have a Toad is really good. Yeah, it's very powerful. Just being able to have like the MST one, the Banisher one, or the Setter one, if the set one's still played. I can't remember. I think my mate plays the set one still. And he plays it. He's very good with the deck. He does very well with the deck. Like you can splash an engines in the deck as well. He splashed dinos in it, which did really well. And it's just looking at this, and I feel like, well, it's still going to be very good. It's still going to be a very powerful deck. Paleo is going to do very, very well in this format, and I don't see a reason why it shouldn't. Honestly, the deck has very good matchups if it goes first. If it goes second, it's a little weaker, but it's still very, very powerful. It should still be able to do everything that it was able to do. So I don't see why it wouldn't do what any other deck could do with traps. But yeah, Paleo definitely, in my opinion, is a very good deck this format. You guys should try out as well. Next is World Chalice. World Chalice. It's topped YCS. It's won on YCS. Didn't get touched by the list. Still has everything. Currently got Nightmares now. Do I really have to explain? Yeah, World Chalice is another deck that is something that could very easily be a very competitive deck this format. And if you've got the deck already, congrats, you've got a good deck already. But when I was looking at it, when I was looking at World Chalice, I was like, World Chalice, like, they've got Nightmares now, they've somewhat got other stuff, and it's like, well, even though they've not done much recently, they're still going to be able to do a lot. Like, now that we've got the Nightmares, they've got more stuff to use out of the Nightmares. Now that we've got all the extra link stuff, it's very powerful. We've got the new Monster Reborn sort of card, which lets you special summon a monster to the to a linked marker, which is very, very good in the deck, I have to say. And it's also searchable. And looking at World Chalice in a whole, still being able to make Saruja really easy, being able to create an extra link very easily, and being able to even end with a Gamma-Seal with like 4 counters on the field spell. The deck's going to be very decent still, and I felt like that had to be mentioned on this, just because World Chalice is still going to do a lot. It's still going to be very powerful. It's still going to have all of its plays. It's not losing anything, and thanks to that, I really feel like, well, we're still going to be seeing this deck around, and it's going to be very powerful still. So, yeah, World Chalice definitely is going to be one of the heavy hitters of this format, just because it's able to combo off very easily. It doesn't have to worry about Max C either, which is annoying. That card should have came back to free, in my opinion. It would be healthier free. But yeah, World Chalice just being very consistent, very searchable, having all the special summon plays, plus with the addition of the Nightmares, being able to create extra links, getting additional normal summons outside of Seraphonite. Yeah, it really is worth the look into it, guys. Honestly, it does have a lot of playability, and I feel like it's worth a try if you have the cards. But yeah, World Chalice. Next. Now this one isn't going to be out right away. It's not going to be out right away, but it's going to be out in June for our national season, and that is Brandish. Brandish definitely going to be one of the best decks of the format. I can't even sugarcoat that. Like, just being able to summon multiple cards, well, not multiple cards, just being able to use multiple spell cards that give you all advantage, being able to negate your opponent's cards, being able to shut up, group chat. Being able to steal your opponent's cards, being able to use your opponent's cards against you, being able to do a lot just to stop your opponent. It's definitely going to be one of the decks that are going to be really great in this format, and it's something I can't sugarcoat any more than that. Just being able to use Anchor to negate and steal a monster, just being able to use Honeybit to summon any free tokens, just being able to use Startup Engage to search and draw a card. The deck has a lot of playability, a lot of ways to win, and there's no reason why the deck isn't going to be good. And honestly, I cannot scratch this, even say that it's not going to be good, because it's definitely going to be good. It's a deck that has the power. Like, oh, I've got a Ray in the graveyard, my monster left the field, I summon Ray back. Oh, I've got a Pot of Duality in my deck. Oh, I've got negating spells, banish spells, I've got search spells, I've got back row removal, I've got monster removal, that also removes back row. There's no way to sugarcoat this. Like, this deck is going to be a very good deck for the national season, which is coming up, and it's hard to say that it won't be, but yeah, that's definitely one of the decks that's going to be good. It's going to be out like early June. I think the first week or something like that. I haven't looked in the deck. I don't really want to play it. I've got Guys, so I'm probably going to end up playing that, or Magicians, because I still feel like they're still very powerful. Another one is Trickstar. Trickstar are still very powerful. Trickstar, they were like, imagine bullets going across me like in the Matrix. They dodged the ban list twice, and Konami, why? Yeah, Trickstars are definitely going to be one of the best decks this format. Again, it's another thing I can't sugarcoat. It's just being able to draw and lock combo you with the reincarnation, just being able to have the search ability, the burn ability, being able to use the scapegoats as in the same as the Mech Knights, which I have on here. Just being able to do all of this, along with having all of your other plays, it's something that you can't sugarcoat. And looking at it like that, it's very obvious that the deck is a very powerful deck, so you can't sugarcoat something like this. The deck is very powerful, it's going to be still very powerful, and looking at it like that, the deck is still going to be a very powerful contender this format. It's going to be good. It's probably going to be on the level of, if I had to rate it in this list, I'd probably rate it as 4 or 5. The 4 or 5 best deck of the format. Like, there's just so much now that's gone. Magicians have been weakened, so that's probably the 5th best deck in my opinion. Maybe if I can figure out a good enough build, the 3rd. We're gonna have Brandish as number 1, Altergeist as number 2. Goki, any Nightmare deck's gonna be there somewhere. Like, you can't sugarcoat this. Like, Trickstars are definitely just gonna be one of the really good decks this format. Being able to just search everything, being able to burn your opponent whenever they add a card, being able to just hand loop your opponent very easily, being able to use Scapegoat as a wall, being able to use back row, being able to use floodgates. Like, the deck has so much that you can't even say no. The deck's gonna be a very good deck, and sadly, that's just the honest truth. But yeah, and the last deck I wanted to mention is 60 cards. Do I hear a riot? Yeah, 60 cards is actually still going to be very, very good. It's going to be powerful. Like, even though they've lost grass, the deck still has everything it needs to play the game. It still has the Predator Plant engine, still has the Zombie engine, or the Dino engine if you prefer that. It still has Fairy Tale Snow at 3, still has the Brilliant engine, it still has everything that it used to be good. Grass was usually just a sugar coating, and seeing as we still have the Plant engine in it, we still have the Zombie or the Dinosaur engine or whatever you want to use, I don't care. And like, it still has everything it needs to play the game. Like, honestly, 60 cards is not bad at all, this format. And even though they've lost grass at 3, lost the 1 grass they had, like, all you've got to do is change the 3 left arms and the 1 grass for something else that... You could have just hit Snow and fixed the problem easy, Konami. Why didn't you hit Snow? Why? The deck is still amazing because of that. And it's like, I can't even think about it. Like, it still has everything that it needs. It has its Saruja, it has its Curious, it has Minerva, it has every extra card that it could use. It even has the F8 Dawn Dragster now that's came out in Flames of Destruction. That's basically a Naruto for the deck, and it still has everything it needs to play the game. And even though we've lost 1 grass in that deck, the deck is still amazing. And I don't like that, Konami. I don't like what you've done here. You've hit grass, yes, but you didn't stop the problem. The problem is Snow, sir. Snow! It's going into a rant. But yeah, Snow is definitely one of the reasons why the deck's going to be just so powerful still, and that's the main reason the deck was always powerful. Fairy Tale Snow, being able to just interrupt your opponent very easily. The deck is not dead in any shape or the form. Like, sure, you could play a 40 card variant, but it's still 60 is the best in my opinion. Like 60 is still going to be very powerful, even though we've lost grass, even though we've lost that one power play in the deck that was easily stopped by Ash. It's still going to be a very powerful deck. But yeah, guys, what do you personally think of these 10 decks? Do you think I missed any decks? Like, I can say some honorable mentions right now. Dinosaurs, they're going to be somewhat decent with the shadows. Dinosaurs, I ain't got anything else in my head. But yeah, there's definitely going to be some other decks out there that will do some good. Like, there's a lot of rogue decks that I can see doing really well as well. And yeah, guys, but the format hasn't changed, basically. Like, we still got 60 cards, we still got Paleo. Like, the only additions are, like, Spiral, Goki, Trickstar, Spiral, Goki, Ultigeist, and Brandish, which, let's be honest, it's going to be the best. But yeah, guys, those are 10 decks I feel are going to be very good this format in the May 21st format. What do you personally think of this? Tell me in the comment section below if you think these decks are going to be good. Tell me if you think these decks are going to be bad. Give me your full opinion in the comment section below, because I always like to hear your opinions. I like to hear if I missed something. I like to consider other things. I always like to hear what your thoughts are, guys. If you feel like I missed anything, again, tell me in the comment section below. If you feel like I'm wrong on any of these subjects, tell me that in the comment section below as well. Just give me everything you want to know in the comment section below as well. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to press the like button next to that, near that subscribe comment area, to show that you enjoyed the video and want to see more Yu-Gi-Oh videos like this. If you want to be subscribed to this channel to see future Yu-Gi-Oh videos, don't forget to press the subscribe button to get those videos in your subscription box. And also, if you want to be notified of those future Yu-Gi-Oh videos, don't forget to press the notification button to be notified of all future videos that I will make on this channel. But yeah, guys, don't forget also, tomorrow night I will be streaming Last of Us again, starting at 8 PM UK time, and yeah, that's it. That's it. Nothing else I can say. Thanks for watching, guys. All these decks are going to be good in the format, in my opinion, and I will see you guys next time. Robot1, signing out. You should have killed Snow, Konami. You should have killed Snow. Bye, guys. Thanks for watching, guys, and don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe on this video for more Yu-Gi-Oh videos, and check out the links in the description for the previous video, and the link to my Facebook page where you can see previous videos that I've posted there, and any other information that I may have posted there. I hope to see you guys next time, and thanks for watching.